Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're in an 8-4 single elimination Eldritch Moon Shadows over Innistrad draft. Thanks everybody for tuning in to all the videos. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and yeah, check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Inez27. I think the schedule will be changing soon, but I don't know. It might be, I have a new job now, so it might be a week-to-week sort of change how the schedule works. Unfortunately, I'm sorry about that, but hopefully we'll have a more regular schedule soon. Also, please support Jamie and Travis. Twitch.tv/Jamie Topples, twitch.tv/Simulin. Thank you so much, folks. All right, I've wasted enough time. Let's go on to the pack here. I like Drag Under a lot. We also have a Grizzled Angler. Drag Under is a pretty excellent card, though, seeing as it kills tokens and draws you a card. Mockery of Nature, decent card. Emerge has been pretty fantastic. I think I'm just going to take the Drag Under. Cantrip tempo style removal, proven itself to be pretty good. I think there's a couple other picks in there that are certainly justifiable as well. Okay, well, to stay on color, we can just take the Ingenious Scab, which is quite good. We also have the Enlightened Maniac, which is better for Emerge, but I really like the Scab a lot. We also have Midnight Scavengers in black, which are good. And I've been very impressed with blue-black, especially compared to Shadows over Innistrad blue-black, which I thought was very underwhelming. I've found blue-black to overperform for me quite a bit, so very impressed with it. Let's take Ingenious Scab here. Sounds fine. Okay, so what is the best card here? We have Extricator of Sin. We have Borrowed Grace. I'm a little bit down on Extricator. I still like it, though. It's just, you really want that Delirium, or else I don't think it's worth it. So if you don't have a good Delirium plan, it's not going to be good enough for you. In blue, we basically just have Contingency Plan, which is not good enough here. So we really do want to pick the right card. I like Prey Upon quite a bit. Blue-green has a good Emerge strategy. Prey Upon is excellent with Ingenious Scab. So that might just be the pick, actually. Just go with the removal. And like I said, I didn't like blue-green in Triple Shadows. There were plenty of people that did, by the way. I was more, I mean, some people agreed with me, some people didn't. I have no problem. If you found success with blue-green in Triple Shadows, that's cool. Maybe you were just building it in a different way than I was. I did not have a lot of success with it, but I've had a lot more success with it in the full block, so take that as you will. Okay, we can take the Id of the Horde Swarm. We have some black picks. Black typically tends to be a little more open these days. We have Take Inventory, which is good for blue-red. Really, no red picks in here, although that doesn't necessarily mean it's being cut yet. I don't love Id of the Horde Swarm. It's certainly playable, though. And, I mean, blue-green Emerge is definitely a thing. So we can take the Id of the Horde Swarm. Yeah, I don't know. Take Inventory has worked well for some of my opponents. I've been impressed with how good it, but you really do have to sort of dedicate yourself to it. We can try it here. Id of the Horde, giving up a Id of the Horde Swarm is not a huge deal, and we'll see. I mean, if the Take Inventory plan works out, it's going to be good. All right, so what do we have here? We don't really have a blue pick. We have actually a relatively late Brazen Wolves, which I like a lot. This card's fantastic. We also have Boon of Emrakul, which is good removal. So we have like blue-red and blue-black. Not a good green card. Fairly late Priest. I saw some comments kind of discussing the power level of this. I've had it win me games, and I've had matches where it's terrible. So there's very high variance on Sigardian Priest, but it certainly means some matches you're going to be super. I've had it win me games, like straight up, just end of your turn, tap that guy, my turn, tap that guy, kill you. So yes, Priest can do some pretty awesome things. I'm almost tempted to just take the Brazen Wolves. I've really been impressed with this card, but Boon of Emrakul is legit removal, and it will deal with a lot of things. So I think I'm going to err towards removal, especially given that I've had quite a bit of success with blue-black. I think mostly because blue-black has tended to be black at least has tended to be quite open. So we can take Grapple with the Past here, continue with blue-green. We can also take Mercurial Geist, which is a card, definitely a good card to have. We still are relatively well set up for blue-red. Grapple, like I said, good for blue-green. We can take the Geist. I mean, this is one of the key cards in the blue-red deck, so... And we did see that Brazen Wolves in the last pack, which might be an indicator. Possibly. All right, well, now there's Take Inventory, but there's also Dusk Feaster, and this card is insane. I love Dusk Feaster. It sucks that there's a Take Inventory in the same pack, but this is a big-time finisher and a very good card, so I'm going to take it. All right, as expected, lot of late black. So we'll take the Supplicant over the Cutthroat. Cutthroat's not really impressed me all that much, as Shania Twain says. So let's take this Supplicant. All right, Mockery. Well, Borrowed Malevolence is a very good card. Good removal spell. Deals with a lot of things. And tough to play around, actually, since it's so cheap. Okay, I will succumb to the temptation to take this card. And could by chance play it. We'll see. All right. Graph Harvest. I mean, if we're in blue-black, these are the colors for it. Currently, it only interacts with, what, our Scab, but that's okay. All right, take a second Supplicant. Guess we don't need either of these. We'll take their green card anyway. So, yes, as mentioned before, black, as per usual, is open. And, hey, if it's the open color and you're getting late, not bombs, I guess, but late powerful cards like Dusk Feaster, then it is just fine to be on those colors. Very late Borrowed Malevolence, which is also a good card, so... Oh, Bruna. Collective Defiance. Jeez. I forget if these cards are worth anything. It's kind of a bummer because you don't really want to take... Well, Collective Defiance is worth close to 3 tickets, but I was going to say... Kind of a downside of playing the 8/4s is you really can't just value draft unless it's like, you know, 5 tickets or something. It's just not worth it. If there's a, I mean, if there's a pick that your deck wants, I suggest taking it. I mean, Bruna's very good, but do I want to hop out of blue because of it? You know, I only have a couple blue cards. I'm basically just black. Which means I could actually take the Collective Defiance over Bruna. I mean, Collective Defiance is a pretty excellent removal spell. It did feel like... Well, no, we saw a couple late red, but they would have gotten cut by now. There's no black card worth first picking. Fortune's Favor is pretty good in blue, but not worth more than either of these. I could just take Bruna, even though it's a 7-drop, because it's pretty bomb. But I think we're actually going to go Defiance, and maybe red works out this direction. We'll see. If not, okay. So we've got Gavony Unhallowed. We have Cryptolith Fragment. We have Mausoleum Wanderer. I like Gavony Unhallowed. The strongest card in this pack is probably Choking Restraints, followed by Blessed Alliance. They're pretty close, actually, since this has a lot of versatility. But... Given that I just passed Bruna, I'm not sure if I want to go down the white path. Plus black-white, I don't know. I haven't been ultra impressed with that archetype. I might just want the Gavony Unhallowed since I'm for sure black. And Gavony's proved itself to be pretty good. I've been impressed with it. Plays well. Wanderer is fine. Not insane, though. Its ability is so odd to me. Like, your opponent's not going to be casting, I don't know. It's an odd set of abilities. We're going to take the Unhallowed here. Okay. So, probably just slam another boon here. Get some more removal. Choking Restraints number 2. Jeez. Boon's fine, though. I mentioned early on the problem with the Choking Restraints, Sleep Paralysis style, and Bound in Moonsilver style removal now is that you've got to contend with Emerge, which definitely makes it worse. So here's a Geist of the Archives, which is a pretty awesome card. No red pick here that's worth anything. We have a captive, which is good, a certain death, a crusader. All of these are fine. We probably just want the Geist of the Archives. This card is very good. It blocks. We still have time to find some evasion, although we are looking for more than just Dusk Feaster. And we also want to lower our curve quite a bit, actually. But, I mean, Geist of the Archives is a pretty premium blue spell. We could just stick with black and see if... I mean, we could also take captive. And maybe green still works out, but probably not. Geist of the Archives, I think, is good enough where we just take it here and be happy with it. It's very good. So we can take Foul Blood, we can take Mutation, there's Scour the Laboratory. We already have a worse, but slightly comparable Succumb to Temptation. Probably don't need a third Supplicant. We could take the Mutation. Right now, kind of the problem our deck has is we're very creature light. Especially if we do end up in blue-black, which it seems like we're going to. Then it might just be a good idea to just take the Foul Blood, but like I said, we're kind of running into the problem where we have just too many 3-drops. Let's take the Mutation. I just like this card. I just like Mutation. It's played very well for me. Alright, Geistfield Scarecrow, though not cheap, is a very good card. I've definitely been impressed with Geistfield Scarecrow. It's a very efficient creature. Cemetery Recruitment, I think, is at home in a deck that's blue-black. You've got your zombies. It's a good way to build card advantage. I'll probably just take the Scarecrow, though. We're looking for creatures, and Geistfield Scarecrow, like I said, is a fairly premium one. Ooh, Scuttler's a great pickup for us. Really happy to see it this late. Every single pack that's got the other take inventory has some bomb that we want instead. What did I take? A Dusk Feaster over it, and now I'm going to take a Scuttler over it. There's nothing you can do, man. The take inventory plan has just been really difficult to ever get going for me. I'm always just too tempted by better cards, especially Scuttler. Although, do we even... I guess in this deck it's really not that great yet. I mean, we can bring back a Drag Under, we can bring back a Malevolence, we can bring back a Succumb to Temptation. That's really not that impressive, but I feel like we should be able to find some more, right? I don't know. I think so. I mean, Scuttler's just got a lot of upside. Another take inventory. Well, 2 I've found not worth it. So I probably just take I could take it here and hope that we see a third. If we don't see a third, though, we're in some trouble, especially with how creature light we are. I mean, Dragoon's really not fantastic in a deck like this. It's basically just a black Grizzly Bear. Maybe it helps us pay for Dusk Feaster. It seems unlikely, or maybe it makes Mutation better. Also seems kind of unlikely. All right, let's take the take inventory. This is pretty speculative that this pans out. If it doesn't, we could be in a bit of trouble. Well, we already got one. I think we're good. We'll take the Fortune's Favor, get a little more card draw. One nice thing is if you're short on... And who said Hanrir Battlements doesn't wheel? What crazy person said this card doesn't wheel? So yeah, take inventory. If you have enough card advantage, it's okay to be creature light, but we definitely want some more creatures in here. I guess we'll take Convolute. All right, we'll take the Recruitment now. We still have time in Shadows over Innistrad pack to find some... all right, we need this Creeper. We need some more creatures to find some more zombies, is what I was going to say. All right, I guess we'll take this. All right, we didn't get the take inventory back, any of them, unfortunately. So 2 is just not worth it in my mind, especially in a deck that's already got plenty of card advantage. So hopefully we don't get punished too badly here in pack 3, but... All right, well, Drowned Yard Explorer is a very good card. Good blocker, and nets you some card advantage. So, geez. Lightning Axe and Solitary Hunter are definitely, and Tenacity are very premium cards in here, but we're going to have to just be happy enough with the Explorer. Okay, so we have Twins. I guess we don't really have an outlet for... No, we've got Double Supplicant. Okay. Could have had the Dragoon, I guess. God, powerful cards in here. We have Mysteries and Thraben Inspector. But... And there's Pour Over the Pages too, but like I said, we're good on card draw. Let's just take the Twins. Like I said, we have a couple outlets for it, so it could still work out fine for us. It's a pretty good body, all in all. All right, Researcher might just be good enough. Sadly, we don't really have a ton of instants or sorceries. I wish we had more. We have Malevolence, Recruitment, Drag Under, Succumb, Convolute, Favor. I mean, it's a fair amount, but I would like some more. I'm still going to take the Researcher over the Niblis, just because I think the potential upside of it is pretty high. All right, Stitchwing Scab is pretty excellent. I love that it can come back. Seem to pass this card a lot more in Triple Shadows, but I'm happy to take it here over a Scrutiny. So, sounds good. We really need some flying here since we already have some pretty good blockers. So I can take the Press for Answers. I can take the Farbog Revenant as well. Farbog Revenant is good. Holds down the fort fairly well. I think Grav Harvest at this point is probably just not happening. We don't have a lot of zombies, and we don't have a ton of creatures, both of which this card kind of needs. So I could just take the Revenant here. Like I said, it's another 3-drop, which isn't great. This deck is already 3-drop heavy, which means maybe I want the Press for Answers, just to make sure I'm doing something early in case stuff gets hairy. But I probably already have enough spells. What's the weakest spell? I guess I don't need the Recruitment. I don't need the Convolute. All right. I think we need to lower the curve. We need to find some lower curve stuff here. All right. Well, I like the Corpse Trawler quite a bit. I mean, it's at a home in a deck like this, but we got to take this Gargoyle. Actually, we could take the Rats as well, but I like Gargoyle more because it's also win con, and it also helps Delirium. Not that we have a lot in this deck, but it's nice to have something that blocks early or becomes a win con in the late game, which this deck definitely needs. We are very win con light. I mean, we've got the Scab, we've got the Researcher. We have a couple, so we have like 3 pretty good flyers that can end games, but we're definitely looking for more, and Thraben Gargoyle fits that bill nicely, so let's cut the Convolute. All right, Macabre Waltz has some pretty high value. We already have the Recruitment, which does a similar thing. There's really nothing else that we super want out of here. Could just take the Macabre Waltz because I found it to be pretty good for the most part. Possibly better than Recruitment. I mean, we're actually a bit zombie light, oddly, considering that we're blue-black, the zombie colors. We only have like 4, so it might just be a nice Cemetery Recruitment swap. Just the Wind is nice. Okay, we can take that. I mean, Silent Observer blocks well, but Just the Wind is good, and it has some interaction with the Supplicant. Supplicant's not great in our deck, admittedly, but a 2/3 body is acceptable. And Just the Wind just does what you want it to do sometimes. Sometimes you just need to bounce something. All right, we'll take it. Helps our curve. So we can take the Apparatus. It's nice to have something you can play early. It feeds our mutation. Catalog is not fantastic in our deck anyway. We do have Just the Wind and Twins, which have some positive interaction with it, but we'll take the Apparatus. I think that could actually make the deck too. Stallion. So I guess we'll take it. I don't know if it's going to pan out, but we'll consider it. None of these cards really matter. I guess we'll take the Shambleback for sideboard. Pretty unlikely I'll need it, but all right, Scrutiny is coming back is actually kind of nice. That's a good card. Now at least we have enough early game things going on where I'm feeling like we can make this deck work. So unfortunately, this deck is not as good as the last couple blue-black decks I've had, just because the last couple blue-black decks I had a ton of really powerful emerge spells in it, like the Behemoth or I forgot its name. It's a 3/4 flyer that cantrips, the Griff. But yeah, we need to definitely figure out some cuts for this deck, and probably not more than one creature cut. All right. All right, let's figure this out. So I think we can pretty comfortably get away with a 17 land deck here. So I kind of like keeping all of our 1 and 2 drops. If I was going to cut any creature, the Stallion was the last one I picked up. We don't look like, well, I was going to say we don't look like we can get Delirium super easily, but that might actually be wrong. We might actually be able to. We have 3 artifacts, 2 of which are creatures as well. We have sorceries that can discard a land. We have enchantment. We have instant. We have sorcery. So actually, yeah, we might be able to get Delirium quite nicely. The problem is we already have a lot. We're 4-drop heavy, which is not a good place to be. I'd rather be 3-drop heavy than 4-drop heavy. So I think it actually makes more sense to cut the Stallion, which seems like our weakest 4-drop probably. I'd rather have one that blocks better and, you know, draws a card, or one that flies or can get huge, one that's very cost efficient on its own, doesn't require any colored mana. So we could cut Succumb to Temptation because we already have at least we have like 3 cards that investigate, and we have the Fortune's Favor, so we probably have enough card advantage that way. So yeah, I probably don't want to cut any more creatures. 14 is usually about right. I wish I had more ways to cheat out twins. It's a bit of a problem that I don't. Only have the 2 supplicants, which, like I said, are really not great for this deck. They're fine, but not great. You pretty much have to be ahead before they're going to give you any value. So we got to figure out some cuts here. Maybe the apparatus, although we don't have a ton of hard removal. I'd prefer Malevolence to apparatus, though, especially if we already have a couple artifact creatures. All right, maybe we'll just cut apparatus and what's the last cut? We don't have a ton of bombs to bring back with Macabre Waltz. We have Dusk Feaster and Researcher, though, which are both pretty good ones. And I guess Macabre Waltz is an actual outlet for twins, which is nice. And bringing back a Scuttler can't hurt, right? That's good value. So let's keep the Waltz in here. I usually feel regretful when I cut it and play against it. So probably either the Just the Wind or the Scrutiny. And it might actually be the Just the Wind, because I'd rather than make my, well, they serve different functions, that is for sure. Just the Wind can kill tokens. We do have Drag Under, though, which is kind of like Just the Wind. They really serve different functions. Scrutiny is a combat trick that can draw you a card. Just the Wind is a token killer that can also deal with auras. So why don't we main deck the card that's a combat trick that nets us a card, and if we need to, we can sideboard into the Just the Wind. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Okay, great. So pretty good looking curve all in all. I feel good about this curve, actually. And not super color intensive, which is nice. Quite a few colorless cards. 9/8, sure. That sounds reasonable to me. I mean, we could do it the other way because we actually have a double black spell, but this seems fine. All in all, yeah, this deck's okay. I can't rate it super high, but I've been rating my decks a lot less lately. This format has just been very strange for me overall. So it's just been very difficult to properly evaluate. But I mean, this deck's reasonable. I wish we had some harder removal, but we have some, we have targeted removal. We've got some spot removal. We've got some tempo stuff. We've got some finishers. We have evasion. We've got some value card draw stuff. So seems like an okay deck. Let's run it like this. We'll see you round 1.